GP, bro, oh my god, I cannot believe it's actually you. I'm meeting you right now. I've seen all of your tournaments, and I even have a picture of you on my wall as best TO ever. Oh my god, your mustache is even more amazing in person. Could you sign my... Oh. Welcome to Smash Talk. Today, we have an opportunity to deep dive into an incredible scene in the Smash community. GP is a born and bred community man with a heart of gold and determination. He started running tournaments as a young man and grew into the most well-known TO in the UK. They may be halfway across the world for most of us, but with a hop, skip, and a jump, you too can experience the amazing community melting pot that is a UK major. With an incredible amount of cultures and communities in a small area, the European scene is one that is incredibly unique, and there's very few other places in the world where you can find people from so many other countries coming together to play, chant, get booed, and hang out. With no more hesitation, I'm super excited to introduce our guest on the show today, the founder of Dat Team and the legend who brought us the amazing Albion series. With the support of his team, it's GP. This episode is an ode to the incredible man and the direction he has helped push the European scene into. Being able to dive into where GP began and to see the humble beginnings of his team is what I would love to show you. Most individuals don't have an opportunity to tell their story, and that's why I love doing this. From having his mom rent out a space for a tournament, to running the pinnacle of Super Smash Bros. Tournaments in the UK, GP has done it all with the love and support from his mom, his dad, and everyone from his scene. We're gonna travel down the path and see how GP got to this point in his life, and then further with his dreams and aspirations of the future. Talking about the future, GP has been instrumental in creating resources when offline comes back, in the form of training for any European TOs looking to become equipped in dealing with a multitude of nuanced facets of running their communities. We've heard it all before. Bias. The word means nothing to the main population of Smash Bros. Centered in the USA, but for the rest of the world, it makes it incredibly difficult to associate and gain the respect that we need to keep a scene thriving in a game that is global. We go in depth with GP, exploring the NA bias and the perspective from the other side of the ocean. With amazing tournaments, passionate people, and one of the largest growing scenes, the United Kingdom, it's only a matter of time till we hear the roar from over the ocean. Now, without further ado, I bring to you the man with a mustache on a mission. It's GP. GP, welcome to Smash Talk, dude. It is such a blessing to have you on the show. The legend from overseas, the creator of Albion, just East England, right?
East England, indeed. It's an absolute pleasure to be on today. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going through everything we've done here.
And you guys have done so much. I love it, I love it, I love it. GP, now is the time to be able to get to know you. You're obviously wizened, you have a beard, you know, you've grizzled into a man through the world of Smash Bros. Where did you start?
We're going back over a decade now, actually, to an event which I ran. Again, I ran it in a community center in my hometown, which is now where I manage a venue, so it kind of all comes around in the end. Back then, there was no real guides on how to run events. Right? You kind of just had to figure it out yourself. My mom hired the venue on my behalf because I was still a minor. So she hired the venue for an entire 24 hours for an overnight thing, spent all the money on it, made none of it back because attendance was really low. The mom just casually lost £200 and thinking that people would go to sleep and she'd be able to maybe go home and leave us while we slept there, then finding out that Smashers don't sleep overnight when they're all in the same room. So she laid out a bunch of handhelds to try and use as a bed. I wasn't her favorite son after that. But that was like a key moment where she was like, if you're going to do this stuff, you've got to do it properly. But the next sort of real big moment, I'd say, was... Yeah, well, I was running a circuit. This was a national circuit. It wasn't the most professional system, but it was a system set up with the sole purpose of revitalizing the communities. This was an attempt to we really want to revitalize the communities, get people involved again. So it was like, if you've attended an event, there's a very good chance you're going to gain some points from this.
That's
just trying to make people attend as many events as possible. So that was like the first big project I took. To actually answer the question you asked. I was running events in an arcade called the Heart of Gaming in West London at the time.
It's not like you stepped into a scene and was like, oh, look at all these people, they need a place to go. It's very much you were watering the grassroots and working with some of these TOs and putting in what I like to call sweat equity, which is sweat equity into a project. TM.
Nice. Get it in there, man. Get your phrases in.
I'm gonna put it on a shirt, Swequity. How did you find that initial team to start working with, to be able to create what has been known as the best tournament series in the UK?
So it was a event that was kind of put together with that team, which was my initial team that I created of the OT. But the initial core team was myself, Bowie, he was the presenter for Albion 4 on the stage, my two best friends, DX17 and Evie, or Ben and Eve as I know them. And we were running events in Glasgow.
Right.
Which is actually a name of the very first event I ran in 2011.
You're like, I need to do this justice, please.
I won't go into it, but basically I ended up repicking up the name. We moved into this venue called the Bridge Academy, which when we moved there was like, right, well, we're just going to rebrand. We renamed it as That Blast Zone because that created a nice little DBZ as the initials, and we started using that as an aesthetic. The nice picture done by a 15-member Dom, who was Luigi with like big Saiyan hair and stuff, holding a spirit bomb. It was great. I'm going to be honest with you, the first one, which was That Blast Zone 7, in my mind, it was a really subpar event. All of the Europeans who come over went, this is so far ahead of everything else in mainland Europe right now.
Sweet.
I was like, oh, so we're actually quite far ahead of the pack. Albion 2 was actually the big one. It was a perfect storm, honestly. And my co-TOs, to this day, do not forgive me for that event. We had a string of pretty dire events happening across Europe. You go into an event hopeful and then come away and go, man, well, maybe the next time. So the community was kind of stuck. And I was like, very egotistical of me, but I went, well, we can do this. These are the faults you're making. And a lot of the TOs didn't want to listen. They were like, you don't understand how hard it is. I'm like, all right then, I'll prove it. So what I did is I said round robin pools. The round robin pools is a perfect selling point for anyone who's not a top level player. People saw round robin pools and was like, brilliant, I get loads of games.
Right.
We ended up hitting around 310.
Yeah.
And when it got to that, the team was like, we got to do this perfect. We had these pool sheets which had every 5-minute slot throughout the day for 10 hours allocated and scheduled. If it wasn't matched at those 5 minutes, someone was coming and checking going, why is that? But in summary, Albion 2 had tons of really interesting sets, lots of countries cheering for and against each other.
Right.
Matchups that we'd never seen before, but really good top 8. And it all ran perfectly. So all of the mainlanders came around and was like, these are the guys.
Right.
This is the event now. And Albion 3 was right at the end of right at the end of Smash Wars lifespan. So it was the same size as Albion 2, but it was much more low key, if you get me.
Yeah.
It was less of a spectacle.
If you had to sum up Albion 4 in a paragraph.
Albion 4 is thus far the most important event to happen for the Smash Ultimate community in Europe. And it's probably going to be the most important thing I ever do. I'm going to struggle to top that. It was the final chapter of half a decade of a small team of people who just cared, doing their absolute best. And just for the sake of building and helping the European community. And it was the final chapter where it all culminated. Something just really, really good. It was a very serious moment because I knew before we finished I was going to be making that my final event as a major tier. Albion 4 on its own was a full-time job for half a year, in which I got paid basically nothing.
I could tell the amount of passion that you put into that, and from the reception of the community and everything that I've seen, that love is not lost. That you transfer that into your community, and they hold on to that now.
It goes without saying that a lot of POs across the whole continent saw that. I was like, right, well, we can take it. We know what we're doing now. We can really push the envelope, and we've seen it. I mean, the events aren't quite as well known across the pond yet, but you've got events like Valhalla. Syndicate's quite well known. UF8 in France has been great. Stunfest is more of an FPC event. but that was great as well. You've got VCA in Austria. I could keep going. There's so many events that are vying to become the next big major. Part of the beauty of Europe as a whole, really, because every country has a particularly different culture and a very specific feel. You can attend an event in the UK, and if you were to then leave Europe and say this is what Europe is like, you would be dead wrong. If you go to France, completely different vibe. You go to Germany, another completely different vibe. Any country in Europe, and I'm really glad that so many of them are really going for it.
The torch has been passed to so many different people, and they can see what can happen if you put the love and passion that GP does into their event. You gotta love it, man.
You make it sound like it's a one-man army, man. I care a lot and I put a lot of work in, but the reality is that you can't do everything on your own. You need to have a strong team with you.
While in the spotlight, GP has mentioned his team, who have helped make all of the events go from idea into reality. It's great to see the people who participate in these projects get the recognition that they deserve. The growth of GP as a community leader up to this point is super difficult to condense into a single episode, and this is just what he's accomplished until now. Before we hear what he's been up to recently, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
That brings us to present GP. You said you get an event organizer position. You're still participating as a figurehead, and GP the TO, is that just going to fade off into legend, the lore?
There's a phrase which I once said myself to other people, and I really should have listened to it myself. It's like, you don't ever really quit. And that is the case with me. I have no intention of running a major again because the amount of effort damn near killed me. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the reason why I'm missing my fringe. Mum comes back up in the story again. There is a video from a few days before the event.
Fantastic value.
Tom,
Yeah.
is there going to be an Albion 5?
And they can only say
No.
good things about this.
Are you sure?
Syndicate.
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear that we will never have an Albion 5?
It's the way forward. It's the
I solemnly swear I'll never get you involved if there is.
Absolutely.
No!
To get involved, obviously.
This is the last tournament, right?
Split in a
Yes.
few ways.
I'm sticking to it, I think. But I still love my community, as we can see up there, East England. I'm more than happy to help continue running the events in the region, keep supporting, our community, our local community.
Right.
Both the people who've been there for years and years, and all the new people who've come around during the pandemic. So that's my main focus.
What is going on in the near future? You get a hoverboard, a hovercraft, you get a hologram with future things.
Wasn't that all set in 2015 in the original movie?
I'm still
Past
waiting
that
for
by
that.
now. But no, I mean, for the future, I don't know. I am definitely going to be attending more majors within Europe.
Yo.
I'm going to be trying to get out to America more. I'm going to try and, but other than that, it is just doing my absolute best to support my community, like again, my local. We have a lot of young new people who have come along during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
They are potentially going to be scared of the first event. Some of them are not going to know what to do. Some of them are going to be scared of meeting people offline. Some of them are going to have parents who are overprotective. And it's going to be my job as the guy who's running the locals to go, hi parents, let me run you through everything. Go to the young attendees and be like, here's how you act at these events, make sure they feel comfortable. So it's all the stuff on the smaller scale. It's important not to lose sight of the base level things that build a community, because that's where it all starts, is at the base level.
GP knows that building a community is quite like building a house. No matter how much time and effort goes into the walls and the windows, creating a huge spiral staircase on the inside and making a toilet from solid gold, it will all be worthless without a proper foundation. I love the idea of continuing to work with the grassroots communities and helping establish a solid future for the UK scene. Talking about a solid future, GP, what has been in the pipeline lately for the UK scene to continue being the best that they could be?
This has been my most recent topic has been child protection. I'm basically getting all of the UK ready to go. So once the offline events are back, everyone's got someone who's trained in child protection, who knows what they're looking for. It's so important that that stuff is in place, because not only does it make it so the minors know who they have to speak to if something goes wrong or if they have any worries, but it also means that there's someone who can educate the rest of their community on, in these situations you should do this, you should avoid these, putting yourselves in these situations, etc. That is part of the making it safe for children, is making events welcoming and open to parents, so they don't have to come along to a sweaty venue which is loud and dark and have to sit in the corner with their phone for about 10 hours while their child plays a game.
Right.
You need to make the events more welcoming to stuff like that, because it's the example I use. If my mum was a slightly less open-minded person and she went to the first event I attended, which stank of weed, it was in a very dodgy area, and our first meeting with the TO was like a string of college students walking down a street in London carrying CRTs. Not a great look. If my mum was a little bit more like, that's not great, then I would never have gotten involved in the community, and we would have not had everything that I've managed to do.
It's really amazing that you're focusing on introducing everybody into a safe zone and into an environment where they can learn how to thrive, so they don't have to deal with all the shenanigans that you did. And I guess that's the benefit of having people like you growing up in the community and looking to be able to make it better. And I think the UK scene is going to thrive because of that. And it's a lot of work. I know there's a lot of groups around, at least where I'm doing things as well. I'm part of a panel trying to introduce that for my scene as well. And just watching the effort that's put in, it's amazing. And it's not easy to be able to incorporate, but if we want our scenes to grow, this is what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is important to learn from any past mistakes. If there's one thing I could impart on anyone, you just never make the same mistake twice. Like if something goes wrong, okay, it sucks if you put a lot of work into something and it doesn't quite go how you planned it. It's unfortunate for happening. You've got to make sure that you identify why that happened. You've got a contingency in place, so should that issue arise again, you have everything in your disposal to immediately cover it. We've run into some issues. We need to make sure we identify the problem there.
Yeah,
that's what we're all doing.
Let's empower our TOs and our community organizers to be able to make something great and safe, and a safe environment for people to be able to grow.
With such a great message, it's hard not to listen to the way GP describes moving forward and helping shape the future of UK esports, at least with Smash. There are a million different issues out there right now, both small and large, but the biggest ones we're looking to conquer with the episode today is NA bias when it comes to Smash Bros. With Smash World Tour, we learned that UK is a huge region, showing up in droves to participate. With the amount of support that's shown from the community on top of the amazing culture and crazy awesome tournaments, the one thing we haven't been able to solve yet is NA superiority. So I have to ask,
do you think that there's a way to be able to solve the bias issues, or to be able to incorporate the rest of the world in this scene and create a global community instead of sectioned off, North America, UK, Asia, Japan as singular entities? Do you think that there's a way to bring us all together under one roof?
Well, I'm going to preface everything I'm going to say here with the fact that I think it is fundamentally impossible to make a truly fair ranking.
Okay.
Everything will have, if you go by just data and data alone, you will never get a very fair ranking. You also can't really bring voting into it because that is inherently biased.
Yep.
But you can do it a hell of a lot better than what's being done right now. When the new game came out, it was a perfect opportunity to basically level everything out. Because obviously, EGR does tiers for events. You've got S, A, B, C.
Yep.
So, for example, an S tier outside of North America is 960, whereas it was 1,200 in the Americas. So they basically then said right at last minute before the end of the first season, wins over players who were previously ranked in Smash 4 will count for more. Let's say you've got Nairo versus Leia.
Yep.
Nairo wins twice, Leia wins 10 times. Okay, but Nairo still gets 2 wins on Leia, so that still matters quite a lot, right?
Yep.
You're most likely ever going to get one set with a top player from the North America, and it'd be 1-0.
Unfortunately.
And that
but-
looks a lot worse. They get the opportunities to get wins on these previously ranked or currently ranked players is much lower. So that needs to be accounted for. You give them the same amount of opportunities that a North American tournament would have, or a North American resident would have, and they'd be racking up a lot more wins.
Right. Yep.
Same existed for ice studying in Smash 4. They had one opportunity and they took it big time. But this was the mentality that got to a lot of us, and it was why we started really pushing the thing. I will get around to answering the question properly, I promise. A lot of Americans, ones who are not necessarily creating this content, but they see Europe as a weaker scene because that's what they're called. And in the same vein, it means that Europe and a lot of other non-North American regions have a really hard time finding their scene because it's toned down. Like, people go, oh, there's not much going on there. The amount of times we've had someone on Twitter go, yeah, there's no events in the UK, and I'm like, but yeah, anyway, so to actually answer the question you asked.
Hold up. You can't answer my question without a break in between. This issue is so large with so many different facets that taking the time to enjoy clips sent in by you is definitely what we need. Make sure to subscribe to our Twitter to participate in the other Smash Talks and submit clips of your own.
3, 2, 1, go! Pretty nice finding these actually after into like a back air. Like, Falcon's just got so much more. What? With Jesus. Okay, there we go. I'm sure we got another Falcon right there, right?
Yes. It would have to be.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice extension. Going for it, isn't it? Got to.
Yeah. Nice and clean.
Not done yet. Oh! I'm breaking out all the special moves for that one. Jeez.
Me brawlers are broken, dude.
Oh, you can't miss that. That's the most unsatisfying clip. You keep going. Alright. First, don't succeed. Try again, right?
That's exactly.
Oh, I've seen this clip before. This is from my guy. Thanks. Shout out to the sickest Falco combos. This guy just keeps going.
What?
Bang. It kept going, baby.
Aren't those supposed to stop eventually?
Not with Falco, they're not. Not with Tank.
Oh, let's go.
It was a clip. I hate it. It was a nice clip, but... Oh yeah, definitely. It's so important to get these sort of things. Oh, this is gonna be...
Oh!
Are we jab rocking on Wi-Fi? Ooh.
Damn,
Nice
that was a hell of a
parry
parry.
there.
Yeah.
I've got Kirby for the dash grab. Oh no, finishing without that. Oh, nice extension.
What kind of Kirby is this? The tech skill on this man. The weight.
Oh, the hammer! He hit him twice! That's the only time I've seen that move work.
Okay.
Oh, yo, the chase with... Mad.
All right, a little bit of neutral being played out. Love to see it.
Racing another forward. I've done with the... Oh! Oh, the PK Thunder up there! That's mad. Oh, we got some mods. Good. Beat up this ugly DK.
Yeah. Oh, you got the grab too?
Yo!
Oh my god, what?
Good. Get rid of these modded skins. Absolutely none of that.
Here we go.
The knockout was cool. I dig it.
Knockout was cool. I was not a fan of the DK skin. I'm very glad to see it get absolutely obliterated like that.
No,
my
wait,
god. Jeez. I guarantee you they did not mean to do that. But it was very cool looking.
The classic intentional.
I know this is his scores, but this guy is a sick editor. Like,
No.
scores get played on bang. heard it combos from Finland.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, those things are really clean.
The coverage on that.
That's not going to kill it. We're going to see something occur here. Another one?
Good DI. Sorry, what?
I knew we were going to get some shenanigans.
What was
it? Was
that?
the gyroid, the rocket. When it explodes without hitting something, when it explodes on its own, it's way stronger. So that's what killed.
Oh my god. I had no idea. Ooh.
Ooh. That's an old clip. That's an old tech that's gone, I think. I can't believe they gave that to the character and got rid of it. That was stuff was so cool.
Wait, they got rid of that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a tech that doesn't exist no more. They got patched out. I mean, I'm not 100%, but I played against the Mega Man a lot, and I ain't never been hit by anything like that because you can't do it no more.
NA bias can come in a multitude of different areas, from silly narratives to jokes by commentators and not putting enough respect on the players.
If the people who are creating the content for people to consume are saying these things that are absolutely untrue on a fundamental level, then anyone who's not already informed is now led down this belief path where they don't even have a chance to be able to give UK the respect it deserves.
Exactly, and this is the issue all of Europe even has been facing for years. And we're getting there, but it isn't easy.
I felt this pain so much, it doesn't even feel like pain any longer. This is just
It's like white noise at this point. It's like, we're just like, yeah, sure, whatever. But anyway, so to really fix the issue it is important to decentralize the importance of events in North America, because I know those are usually the largest events, but it is important to make sure that events elsewhere are accounted for. Because if you don't get the opportunities to play these top players in America, then you have no chance, and it is a case of the rich getting richer. Remember, I should imagine that quite a few of us remember when Ben Gold won a Australian major with K. Rool.
Right.
Now, rather than going, wow, he must be a really sick K. Rool player, the vibe from a lot of North America was, wow, Australia must suck if they lost to K. Rool. You see it everywhere once you start looking for it. Anyway, I'm once again going on the tangent.
That's okay. This is a viable tangent.
The thing that the only thing that in recent memory which really got me was after UFA, a player called Space, Inkling player, who beat Pluto and Kameme at the same event.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're really good. They got to grand finals where they dropped Leo and then Gluto again in the run back. But he did all of that, made all these big plays, as did Quick, and yet not beat on the PGR anywhere. Now, I can't say for sure how to exactly weight things, because I am not a statistician.
Right.
But I know that what is being done currently is not right. And the reason I know that is because there is a guy out there called Luke Barnard, which is a decentralized, where he goes through all of the data, weights things according to the size of their scenes, and the frequency of events that makes it work from there. Now, from our perspective, it's a much fairer ranking, and so it does help. And honestly, this person in particular needs a lot more. They need a lot more exposure, because the stuff they create is so good, and it actually allows for a lot more exposure for the European scene. For example, they did a statistical best player of each character.
Yep.
Now, this is another one where if you are the best player in the US for character, then congratulations, you're the best player of that character in the world, apparently. Unless someone in Japan plays it.
I think this is a big problem of people keeping within their circle, right? It's like you're not looking outside of the US for these people that are super talented and are very, very powerful in their own right. And they're just not being recognized. And that comes with like the reach on social media and the networking, and these might have the best intentions, but aren't doing things in the correct way that is fair for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's hard, dude. That is hard. I think
I would definitely agree with that. But I think the first step at the very least is to make sure that any information that's out there is genuinely fact checked. Because I mean, whenever a PGR comes around, we all of us in Europe who are sat there with piles of knowledge and everything here, we're all just sat there like, oh, are they going to contact us and ask us about these things, or are they just going to pick things that they find? and use that as all of our data rather than just asking us, hey, where's all the data? Because we've got it all.
I don't know if it's possible to be able to create an entity that has representatives from all of the scenes that care, but that seems, at least to me as an outsider, not in the statistics whatsoever, that is probably optimal to be able to pull someone from Australia and someone from Japan. Every single entity should be pulled in, if possible, into a global network of TOs and representatives.
Which is the Orion rank, guys. They're putting out this fantastic one. They're going into tiny little bits of data. And the good thing is, once you know all of this data, you can make much better opinions. So anyone saying Pikachu top 1, yeah, it's like I mean, you may go, well, that's just this particular section of data, but the fact that that's even close.
It's refreshing. I love it. I love seeing people who are passionate and doing what they love. It has been an absolute pleasure getting to know the European scene on a more personal level, and who could ask for a better representative than someone that cares as much as you do.
Well, I mean, thank you very much for having me on here, man. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you on your show, and it's a pleasure to have someone like yourself who's, passionate and willing to listen and hear about our community. We don't get that very often, and it's much appreciated from yourself. And I can only hope that more people are going to see this and be more interested in seeing some of our community. We've got so many incredible moments, such a passionate community, strong players as well, which is always important. Fantastic. And the best commentators out there. Putting that one out there right now.
After today's episode, there's nothing I'd like to do more than travel Europe and experience the amazing culture and the scenes that exist there. It's awesome to see how much Smash is developing in other parts of the world and what we can do here at home to be able to help show support for the people globally. Just because you have the loudest voice doesn't mean you're correct. Let's do our best in showing support for all the scenes in the different areas and create a global effort in pushing esports, specifically Smash Bros, to the pinnacle of gaming. Thanks everybody who have supported up to this point. I have loved participating with everyone in this project, though things have to change. Each one of these VODs we put up is a culmination of countless hours working at an amazing end product. Any support is appreciated by liking, subscribing, commenting. I mean, you know the drill, but it means so much to be able to help us push forward and continue releasing content like this. Make sure to check out MSGBC_ on Twitter if you would like to participate, or even to get in contact with us to be able to see if you wanted to be featured. Things will be changing in the near future, so stay tuned looking out for the next episode. Just like an Ike main looking to start beef, I fight for my friends, and you'll get no sympathy from me. Until next time, good luck, have fun, stay gaining, gamers. Smooth like butter, stuttered, and didn't understand my gutter. Yeah, I get milk from the udder. Right.
It's been a busy day.
Well, time for you to take a load off, brother, for East England!
East England.